Hi guys, welcome back to ABG Spoken English Classes. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ತರಗತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು 10ನೆಯ ತರಗತಿಯ ಪೋಯಮ್ 5 ಜಾಸ್ ಪೋಯಮ್ 2 ಈ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಯ ಭಾಗದ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತು ಸಮರಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಸಾಗೋಣ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗಲೇ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿ. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಜೊತೆಗೆ 8, 9, 10ನೇ ತರಗತಿಯ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಪಾಠಗಳು ನನ್ನ ಚಾನಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಲಭ್ಯವಿದ್ದು ಆಸಕ್ತ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿಗಳು ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದಾಗಿದೆ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಈಗ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಉತ್ತರಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಸಾಗೋಣ. So dear students, let us start now. Poem 5, Jazz Poem 2. This poem is written by Carl Wendell Heinz Jr. So understand the poem. The first question is, read the first stanza and see how closely the description of the jazz player is made and fill in the columns in the table. Here they are given the table. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಕೊಡಲಾಗಿದೆ. So answer is like this. Pace, wrinkled old pace, full of worries, unshaven pace. In the eyes, closed eyes, still down pace. Ears, still closed ears. Shirt, a padded blue old shirt, turned dark with a sweat. Collar, frayed collar. Jacket, worn out old jacket. So let us see now the question number 2. Why do you think the jazz player keeps his head down? Here the question number 2 is there. Answer: jazz player was very old and he had no interest in life. He was alone and had pain in his heart, so he kept his head down. The question number 3. The word old has been repeated several times in the first two stanzas. What does this suggest? The word old suggests belonging to the past. Jazz player was aged and the things are worn out or outdated. The question number 4. What description do the lines from 13 to 18 suggest about the jazz player? Jazz player had lost his interest in the life. He did not care to wear and torn dresses. He had more pain that could be seen in each wrinkle of his face. So after that, question number 5. Read the lines from 19 to 25 carefully. Is there any change in the stature of jazz player? And second question is, now read the lines from 31 to 35. Can you guess what he is meditating on? So answer is A. Answer A. Yes, we found some change in jazz player. He put his head down, eyes still closed but ears brighter up. He was started to play some religious musical notes in a low voice. And B answer is, he was meditating that he wanted to tell that he was a black man to all the world. So next question is, sixth one. How has he held his instrument? His instrument, saxophone, was hung from his neck by a wire coat hanger. Next question is seventh one. Read the lines from 29 to 41. It gives a picture. Can you imagine that try to get the picture in your mind. If you can draw, the picture. So, dear students, next answer lines 29 to 41. Create the picture of a man playing his instrument the minute he puts as musical instrument to his mouth. He undergoes a transformation as he preaches his black gospel of jazz through his music. He changed from being a black man to a bird, soaring high in the flying in the flying high in the sky. This transformation is symbolic of the liberating spirit of music. It also shows that music has no device boundaries, divisive boundaries. Let's start now. Eighth question. Preaching it with a verse line 35. Preaching it with a verse line 35. What does it stand for here? It stands for the black gospel of jazz. The next question is, he no longer a man, says the poet. Who else is he supposed to be if he is no longer man? The answer is, as the poet said that if he is no longer a man, he became a bird. Question number 10. Read the last 10 words of the poem. You may observe a change in the tone. What is that about? Answer. The tone in the last 10 words of despondence, loss of hope. The speaker says that jazz player who transformed himself into a bird with the power of music may once again relapse into his pathetic condition of being an old black man, a wrinkled old face, and worn out clothing. So, read and appreciate. You see here, first and second question, write yourself, and third question answer I will given. The poem is full of images, word pictures. Some examples are given. Now find as many images as you can in the poem. The wrinkled old face, sagging stomach, rough unshaven face, still down head, still closed eyes, an old saxophone lays across his chest. And the fourth question is here, is there a simile in the poem? If so, identify it. Yes, in the very first stanza, a simile is employed. The poem begins with the lines, there he stands, see, like a black ancient mariner. The comprehension, the comparison is between the black jazz musician Pills and the ancient mariner in Calder's poem, like the ancient mariner, the old jazz player. Musician feels that he was a message for the people of the world. So, dear students, ಈಗ ಸಮ್ರಿಯನ್ನು ನೋಡೋಣ. Okay, dear students, you may write this summary in your fair work. This is very important, and it will be asked for 4 marks question. So write once again clearly. ಇದನ್ನು ನೀವೇ ಬರ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. Next, this is the second paragraph. You may write it. The last paragraph. Here he alone stood with his head down and eyes closed. He wore an old alto saxophone and chanting some religious music in low voice. That old saxophone was hanging from his neck by a wire coat hanger. He wanted to tell that he was a black man. He had been sent here to preach the black gospel of jazz. He was preaching it with a verse by loud musical sound. When he started to preach, he was transformed into a bird. That bird gathers its wings and fly high, high and higher until it flies away. Otherwise, he comes back to find himself as a black man again. This is the last paragraph. Okay. ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿಯವರೆಗೆ ನೀವು ನನ್ನ ಚಾನಲ್ಗೆ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಈಗಲೇ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಆಗಿ. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ನಿಮಗೆ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದರೆ ದಯವಿಟ್ಟು ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.